was the 12th, 1983, in Aldershot, Hampshire, England. 77-year-old Alfred Berthoud was quietly fishing on the Basingstoke Canal. The canal winds through Aldershot, a town known as the home of the British Army because of its many military establishments. On that night, the weather forecast predicted ideal conditions for fishing, prompting Alfred to leave his North Town home at 12:15 a.m, accompanied by his dog Tiny. Alfred was a pensioner who had served in the Queen's Royal Regiment in 1924 and the Hampshire Regiment during World War II, and had lived an adventurous life. He'd worked as a farmer and gardener, and during his time in the Canadian outback had hunted bear and wolves. Known locally as an historian, he had no prior interest in UFOs or extraterrestrial phenomena, and before this night he had never read any books or magazines on the subject. After reaching Government Road, Alfred encountered a Ministry of Defence policeman on patrol. They exchanged brief pleasantries before he continued his journey to his favourite fishing spot about 120 yards north of Gasworks Bridge. Alfred secured his dog Tiny by taking the bottom joint of his fishing umbrella, sticking it into the ground and tethering the dog to it. He cast his line into the canal waters and placed his rod on a rest. He then heard the gong at Buller Barracks strike 1 o'clock. About 50 minutes later, Alfred decided to pour himself a cup of tea from his thermos flask. It was at this moment that the ordinary fishing trip took an extraordinary turn when a vivid light appeared descending from the sky over North Town. Alfred watched it in amazement as it moved in a falling leaf motion over the nearby Aldershot to London railway line. The light briefly blacked out for a few seconds before re-illuminating and appearing to land on the embankment on the other side of Gasworks Bridge. "I thought, well, that can't be an aeroplane," Alfred Berthoud later recalled. "It's too low because it was at about 300 feet. He could hear a strange whining noise that reminded him of an electric generator. Trying to maintain his composure, Alfred lit a cigarette while keeping a watchful eye on the landing area. Suddenly his dog began to growl furiously. Even in the darkness, Alfred could make out two small statued figures approaching along the towpath. He commanded Tiny to be quiet, and the obedient dog fell silent. The fisherman later remarked, "I wasn't afraid. I was more curious than anything.